Josh, can you believe we have been doing this podcast for almost 6 years?
Lauren, seriously? It only feels like, 20, 30?
More like 50, am I right?
Definitely 50. Definitely 50.
Well, in anticipation of our 6th anniversary happening this February, we actually want to hear from you, our audience.
That is right. We're officially plugging and pushing the Creator Upload Survey. It's here. It's happening.
For the first time ever, we are interested in something other than ourselves. In partnership with Deep Water Strategies, who put this together for us, thank you very much, we want to learn about you.
It's truly historic. Please head to bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey and tell us all the things.
What you want more of, me. What you want less of, Josh. And everything in between.
We'll be talking a lot about it, so just go to bit.ly/creator upload survey and make our lives way easier.
Exactly. Thanks for being with us all these years. Now go fill out the survey. bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey. Welcome to Creator Upload, your creator economy podcast. I'm Lauren Schnipper.
And I'm Joshua Cohen. Lauren?
Josh, this has been a very prolific fall for the two of us. I'm just going to say, for the Creator Upload duo over here, leaving the house like it ain't no thing. It's crazy. You were out yesterday in New York. What were you doing, Joshua?
It has been, Lauren. The ratio of being inside to being outside is just way off for me.
Yeah, we're gonna go deep hibernation in a little bit because this has been a lot. But yeah, no, it's crazy. You didn't answer the phone several times yesterday, and I was like, "Is he dead?" And it was you were out. It was troubling.
Lauren will call me, by the way, audience listeners, dear listeners, and she'll say things like, she'll call me. She'll be like, "I'll be in the car. Can you edit this document for me real quick?" And then she wonders why. Why I don't pick up sometimes.
And feel like that's totally appropriate.
Yeah, it's
considering
it's
all
of our
the
relationship, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
No, 100%.
Lauren, I was out at the
And then he says, "I'm not your assistant," and then he edits the document. So we just go in the flow.
Yeah. I complain about not being her assistant, then I end up editing the document, and then everybody wins. So Lauren, I was out in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the trek from New Jersey to Brooklyn ain't a small one.
Not easy.
So this is a big feat. And
this is a big one.
Why was I in Brooklyn? I was at 58 Kent Street for Whaler's The Lighthouse opening party. Lauren, you know this, but Whaler is an influencer marketing agency with headquarters in London, Los Angeles, and now New York. And as part of one of the hubs or the spokes of this influencer marketing agency is The Lighthouse, which is a physical location. They have one in Venice. It's at an old post office.
It is. It's the location is, it's the farthest point in Los Angeles from everything else in the world, basically on the beach in Venice. So it's a nightmare to get there basically from anywhere, but it's the coolest location. It's the coolest building, I should say. It is an old post office that they repurposed for things.
Except if you're more creatively inclined, it seems like everybody lives within a 5-10 minute drive.
Nobody lives in a 5-10 minute.
Okay, lots of people live within a 5-10 minute drive.
The parking in and of itself could take you 25 minutes minimum.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm just saying.
I know tons of people that walk there.
Literally, one person that walks
I know
there.
several people that walk there.
There's maybe 2. Go on.
In any case, the Lighthouse is a physical location that's meant to be a hub of creativity. And creators can pay for memberships where they get access to the facility. And then as part of their membership, they also get a certain amount of production credits and other resources that come with that. We filmed one of our podcast episodes there last year.
We sure did. We did. It was lovely. It was I think we were if not the first, one of the first, because they had just opened.
Totally. And then Colin and Samir use it as a production facility and film a bunch of their productions out of that location as well. And for Whaler, it's could be a thriving business in and of itself, but also meant to be an upsell for different brands and advertisers that they work with, because Shopify or Canon or whomever can come in and sponsor sessions and activities at the Lighthouse. It can be a hub for different events for people within the industry. And it can also be this top of funnel for Whaler to get more creators into their ecosystem so they can, potentially represent them as part of their management arm, and then 2, use them in a bunch of influencer marketing campaigns that they have.
So what was the event yesterday?
So the event yesterday was the debut, the opening of their Brooklyn location, which is at a very cool facility. Maybe not as cool as the Venice post office, but still incredibly cool. It's at 58 Kent Street, and this is a former pencil factory from the late 1800s. And the building's super cool because it almost looks like an old Italian kind of courtyard house where there's this green space in the middle and the building's wrapped around it. And I was super curious about like, why did they construct this facility like that? And then it's obvious they didn't have electric light when they first had this facility. So they needed to get light into the building somehow so they could make these pencils. Yeah. In any case, Kickstarter then bought it in 2011, turned it into its headquarters. During the pandemic, nobody from Kickstarter was working there no mo. And now the Lighthouse is in there, and they've done a lot of work on the infrastructure to make it safe, sound, aesthetically pleasing, and be able to house a bunch of different types of programming. Some of the programming included, Lauren, there was Amber Tamblyn and SNL star Anna Gasteyer. They had a conversation moderated by Cindy Leave.
I love Anna Gasteyer. She, first of all, real quick, I've seen her. I saw her on Once Upon a Mattress, which was from Broadway, and then came to LA. And then she, I think, was the like shining star of the 50th anniversary of SNL. Every sketch she was in, like brought back, was amazing. She is phenomenal. I'm all about that.
She's fantastic. And since
she's hysterical.
Amy Poehler's launched Good Hang, I am such a fan of the like 80s, 90s SNL female cast members.
You know what's crazy, Josh? Women are funny.
I didn't know.
I don't know if people, I know. I know. I think that Josh is one of those people. He just literally it's not that he was like, women aren't funny. He's like, no. Now he knows. Okay, go on.
Rachel Dratch, my new favorite person.
Oh my God. That I beyond.
She's fantastic.
Beyond. She's the greatest person ever. Go on.
Speaking of women, two wonderful women in our industry had their business coming out party at the Lighthouse too. That's Kaya Yuriev and Jasmine Enberg.
Both of who have been on this podcast many times.
Totally. They announced officially publicly announced for the first time in person the launch of their new media company, Scalable. So that was cool to see them at the event. And then what kicked it off, though, one of my favorite conversations was about the business of creativity with Sir John Haggerty and David Droga. Lauren, I know you're well aware with Sir John Haggerty and David Droga's work, so just for everybody else, I'll tell everyone else who they are. Sir John Haggerty is the founder of Bartle Bogle Haggerty, BBH, one of the most influential figures in modern advertising. He helped define the creative revolution of the 80s with campaigns for Levi's and Audi, championing the power of bold, idea-driven storytelling. He was knighted for his work in the advertising industry too. He's a sir.
Okay.
Meanwhile, David Droga is the founder of Droga 5 and now CEO of Accenture Song. He's widely regarded as one of the most awarded creatives in his generation. Droga built his reputation by merging creativity with business impact, producing work that consistently reshapes how brands connect with culture. Two just like monolithic figures in the advertising industry were on stage basically talking about whatever they wanted. They started off the conversation with what's the meaning of life, which I think is a great way to start off any fireside chat. Did
you get an answer? Like, what are we dealing with?
We got an okay answer. David Droga responded with happiness. And then Sir John Haggerty said, I think it's three things. I think it's like being creative, being happy, and telling clients to fuck off. And then David Droga said, isn't telling clients to fuck off and happiness the same thing? And so they had a little bit of an agreement.
Yeah, they had a chuckle there.
Just two guys.
Sounds like they had a giggle on that one.
Two behemoths of their industries. Just having a laugh on stage.
Did they talk about creators at all or anything, or no?
It was mostly about how making bold, creative, big decisions is important for the future of the world. Really, and I feel like they believe this, that the world needs big, bold individuals to take big, bold actions. And from a just artistic standpoint, it really can push just humankind forward. And what I love too is how heady people in the advertising world get about themselves.
It's so fascinating, and but like, I have worked with some people on the branding side, and like, which is obviously adjacent to advertising, if not the same, and it's crazy how heady they get. But like, also I feel like that's what they have to do to get to the creative output, and so you have to just trust the process. But you're like, guys, we're not curing cancer. We're like selling genes. Like everybody calm down.
But it's
calm down.
To
But
their
also,
credit, it's like engaging with the human spirit, just psychology,
100%.
commerce, and more.
100%. Like the output ultimately, in my experience, when I've seen those kind of processes, absolutely is worth the journey. But during the journey, I am 1000% being like, these people need to calm the fuck down.
This is one of my favorite stories. On this topic, I once went to a big fancy advertising award show, not Ken Line. It was by 4As. They give out these pencils that are really coveted in the advertising world. And walked into Cipriani downtown in Manhattan, and there was this
I think it's Cipriani, but go on.
Tomato.
It's Cipriani.
Maybe we're talking about a different spot.
We're definitely not. Go on.
And there were this huge, like 60-foot kind of like tapestries of Galileo, Einstein, Copernicus, and then David Ogilvy.
Like, okay. Yeah.
David Ogilvy, one of another like fathers of modern advertising.
Advertising. Yes, of course.
And so just putting those types of individuals up on the same level was
parallel.
Was very enlightening to how people in the advertising world think about themselves.
Right. And this was not like ironic or funny. This was like legit. Yeah. Like he's like Galileo of our time. Okay.
I'm really stoked for the opening of the Lighthouse. I think if I was living anywhere within a 20-30 minute commute to that location, I would definitely want to be a member. It's
like 45 for you, so it ain't gonna happen.
No, it's like an hour and 45.
Is it really?
Yeah. You got to go all the way across Manhattan.
I know he's the west and it's on the east. I know. I'm aware, and you got to go down. It's a lot.
But I really think that New York could use a creative hub where a bunch of people in this industry can go together and have serendipitous interactions with each other that are leading to more creativity. Casey Neistat tried to do this with this 368 facility.
I was going to say, this has been tried sort of before. Like, obviously, I was going to say Casey Neistat in New York, and then obviously the YouTube spaces, which were like sort of a version of this. That they all closed kind of during the pandemic. I have theories as to why those kind of didn't work. What do you have any thoughts on like why those didn't work, why this might work?
Well, I think that this might work because it's not the core business model. Like Casey Neistat's 368, the core business model seemed to be, let's bring all these creative types together, let's get brands to sponsor this, and then maybe let's do some campaigns outside of that. Where Whaler has these other business verticals, its management company, its influencer marketing agency, and more that can sustain hopefully also this type of
membership.
Type of physical location with a membership fee.
I think that also a piece of it is that people actually want to kind of are craving what they call third spaces. You know what I mean? Like it's like what you could argue this is. I like love this. I have a friend who actually just launched a VC that's all about investing in third spaces. Like, you know, the idea like a church is a traditional third space. Like, you know, you've got work, you've got school, and then you've got these like third spaces that people used to like commune in. And like because of like online, people aren't really doing that anymore. And I think people are actually really craving it. And so this kind of combines obviously the digital and the third space. But I also think that, you know, I think a lot about the YouTube space, which was, you know, these huge spaces that YouTube built going on like at least a decade ago, that were meant to kind of, you know, inspire this creative collaboration. And, you know, I think it was ahead of its time a little bit. I think number one, and I remember like when it opened, it was like, you know, they had all these like control rooms. It looked like the Today Show with like major cameras and like the creator economy was just not there yet at that time at all. Like, I think it was just a little bit early and they ended up just using it with like, you know, in not that way. And they were trying to teach people things and brands came in and blah, blah, blah. But like, it was just big. They were big. And I think these aren't as big. Right. And so I'm excited. I think they're cool spaces. I mean, if you ever run into Ben Rellis, our friend of the podcast who, lives in LA, the first thing he says to you is like, hey, you want to come work at the Lighthouse? Like, it's just, you want to hang out? I come to Light because he's a member anywhere. So come Light out. So
it's working in some capacity. It's working.
It's a thing.
This wonderful installment of Creator Upload is brought to you by Viral Nation. Viral Nation is a leading global social media marketing and creator agency with a social-first approach powered by its brand-safe technology.
Viral Nation powers global growth for brands like e.l.f. Cosmetics, Audible, A24, MGM Resorts International, Microsoft Meta, Tencent, Zillow, and Walmart, redefining how brands engage and thrive in an ever-evolving digital world.
Take your content to new heights with Viral Nation.
All right, let's move on. I want to talk about earnings. We had earnings this week. Meta earnings. Let's start with that. I think the big headline coming out of Meta earnings is that Zuckerberg claiming that Reels has an annual run rate of over $50 billion, which is fairly significant considering it was like zero not that long ago. And I think it's like important to note that like run rate for business refers to a yearly revenue total that is extrapolated from like a shorter time period. So it's not like, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily hauling in 50 billion a year, but that could become valid based on like a smaller time period. But just I think, and we'll get to YouTube's earnings, but to compare it, recently, YouTube recorded Q3 as 41.4 billion, 0.04 billion. And so, that's pretty significant if the annual run rate is over 50 billion. So top line quarterly revenue for all of Meta was 51.24 billion, which was nearly 2 billion higher than analysts' estimates. So that's huge. But of course, the bad news is around Meta's investment in AI and how it's falling short of projections. And apparently there's there's like a $16 billion tax charge related to the Trump administration's, big, beautiful bill. So like that is, affecting the stock price of Meta right now. So, but I think it's very significant how much money, Reels is bringing in. I think there's a lot of creators being like, cool, when am I making some of that money? So there's that question happening right now. Josh, what do you think about this?
Okay, Lauren, let's just put that $50 billion annual run rate for Reels number in a little bit more perspective. So in 2022, the annual run rate for Reels was reported by Facebook to be $3 billion. Remember, Reels started in 2020. And then 2022, the annual run rate was up to $3 billion. 2023, the annual run rate was up to $10 billion. Now it's up to $50 billion. So it's quintupled in 2 years, which I think shows a couple things. One, Meta's ability to monetize this short form vertical video format in much more efficient ways. Two, an increased quantity of programming. So I'm guessing more and more creators are uploading more and more. They create a bunch more inventory. And then the incredible amount of consumption on that increased number of programming that's generating these revenue figures. It's wild. It's really wild to see that trajectory. Like you said, if you compare this to YouTube's annual run rate for advertising revenue on the entire platform, that would be a $41 billion ARR. Meanwhile, YouTube's giving away 55% of that revenue, give or take, to creators on the platform that are making content for that platform. They give that platform the ability to generate that kind of advertising revenue. And Meta's giving creators minuscule amounts, small percentages of whatever that $50 billion is, through a variety of incentive programs or something else, but no sustained kind of revenue sharing facility is on the platform.
On Reels. Well, on Reels, on another long form there is, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think as that number continues to increase, it's cool for Zuckerberg to boast about it. And I think it is incredibly impressive. But as these numbers continue to increase to Facebook, I'm wondering if there's going to be at some point some kind of uprising from creators being like, yo, we need to make some more of this revenue here.
Yes and no, but like it's not happening on TikTok. I mean, you're not making money, like it's like if this is working for them. And like, listen, people have to remember, like YouTube sort of started this like 55%, split thing. And like all the other platforms took a while to sort of, follow suit because 55 cents on the dollar is a lot of money to give away. And if they're seeing success and not do it until they have to do it, I don't know that they're going to do it. Like, I just feel like they're probably looking at TikTok and they're like, well, TikTok's not doing it. And we're growing at like a rapid pace. And as long as they can provide discovery and distribution, right. And there are other ways in which you can make money on Facebook. Like, I think YouTube's always going to win in terms of creators being favorable to creators because it's where you can sort of more reliably make money. But I don't know that I like it, but I'm also like, from a business standpoint, I get it,
I do get it. I also think though, YouTube, it seems like if you just extrapolate this out for the next several years, YouTube has more of a chance of just continuing to dominate and win and get more and more market share because fundamentally it's sharing this revenue with creators. So creators are truly partners with them on the platform. And so every decision they make has to incentivize those creators in some capacity. And they have to think about how creators are going to react to this in a much different way than platforms who aren't sharing their revenue with those creators are. So I think that leads to much more informed decision-making processes, which is going to lead to better tools for those creators, which is going to lead to more content creation, which is why I think YouTube is such a behemoth that it is and will continue to be and dominate these other platforms long term.
Yeah, but as we both know, YouTube has had a problem with discovering new talent, and they're obviously doing a lot of things to sort of circumvent that. But like TikTok is where people are going to be discovered, and then they move to other platforms. And it feels like with this, how well Reels is doing, like I feel like Reels is going to become that too. So until YouTube has figured out that, not top of funnel, beginning of funnel, I guess is what I would say, bottom of funnel, almost like, which they used to own, they don't own it anymore. These other platforms are going to still be necessary and people will go there. Well, so I don't know.
It seems like they're figuring out a little bit though, because shifting over to YouTube's earnings calls.
Yes.
The company said it made $10.26 billion on advertising revenue in Q3. Sundar Pichai said, quote, "It was a terrific quarter with double-digit growth across every major part of our business." He attributed much of the growth, which was 16% year-over-year jump on overall earnings, a 15% year-over-year jump on YouTube's ad revenue, and a 33% year-over-year increase for net income of $34.98 billion. So he attributed all that to Google's dogged pursuit of braiding some sort of generative AI into absolutely everything it offers, whether or not creators like it. But he said, quote, "We are seeing AI now driving real business results across the company," end quote. And what's more, though, is now per hour of watch time, YouTube is seeing more revenue generated from shorts advertising than it is from long form advertising. Probably because there's more opportunities for more ad spots, because there's more content that's being sifted through. Like if you watch an hour long form video, and more people are increasingly watching more increasingly longer form content on YouTube, in large part to its increasing prevalence on television screens. You're not going to get as many ad breaks. You watch an hour of programming, what are you going to get? 5, 6, 7, 8 ad breaks max. If you're shifting through shorts for an hour, you're going to get tons more ad breaks. So there's much more of an opportunity to display advertising to consumers. And that's why I think that number is going up. I think it will continue to go up as well, unless television advertising dollars and the CPMs of those television advertising dollars start to flow into the YouTube ecosystem more and more, which will even that out, which they're desperately trying to do and have always been. But Lauren, in reference to your top of funnel comment,
not top of funnel, like beginning of funnel, bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is the high. How are we defining top of funnel?
Top of funnel is okay.
What I mean is the beginning of your career and being discovered. Top of funnel feels. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, let's just picture a funnel.
Okay.
Okay, you have one in your mind?
Right. So that's the top of the funnel. Because sometimes I don't know. If you turn it around, I don't know. What I mean.
Which way is the funnel pointing here?
Sometimes. Okay.
I like to put the funnel on my head. What happens then?
I don't know. So what we're talking about is the biggest part of the funnel where the most people can be discovered. Okay, it's top of funnel.
Yes,
Go on.
That's top of funnel. So Shorts is providing YouTube with a bigger top of funnel. More and more Shorts content is being consumed on the platform. More creators are creating Shorts. YouTube is developing more and more products on its platform to facilitate short form creators making more money. I think we're just going to continue to see this like huge behemoth of YouTube get bigger and bigger.
Love it. Great. Okay, I want to jump really quickly to Netflix. So Netflix, as we know, we talked about previously, they were doing a deal with Spotify to get some of the Spotify produced podcasts exclusively on kind of Netflix and and Spotify, but they're removing them from other platforms like YouTube. They're now Netflix is talking about licensing video podcasts from iHeart Media. So iHeart Media, of course, includes things like Las Culturitas, Jay Shetty Show, Stuff You Should Know. So they're looking for exclusivity, which means, again, that the video podcasts that it would license from iHeart would no longer be uploaded to YouTube, right? And so I think, in the Spotify deal, they are taking some of those podcasts and they're allowed to stay on Spotify. They're going to be on Netflix, but they're going to take them off YouTube. Like that's the big thing. It's like no more on YouTube. I think this is very interesting. I think it's fascinating. Think about Spotify. Spotify several years ago was doing these exclusive deals where only the podcast could only be on Spotify. And what ended up happening is they realized that was like cutting their nose off despite their face, because really it's not about necessarily having it exclusively on the platform. It's about being exclusive company to sell against the podcast. So what they did was then say, like, scrap the exclusive, distribution plan. We're going to let it distribute everywhere, but we're exclusively going to sell against it, which proved to be like a much more fruitful kind of strategic plan. So it's interesting because Spotify now, to that end, is partnering with the Netflix, saying, sure, put this on Netflix. We don't care. And like, obviously, I'm assuming they're going to get paid a lot for it. But I just feel like as far as Netflix plans go, like, I don't know if this is the right move. Like, obviously, there's a cachet to be on Netflix. You've got a specific kind of audience. And I love that they're getting into this space. But from a podcast distribution standpoint, is that the smart thing to do, to gatekeep just on these two platforms and not put it on YouTube, to the point that we were just talking about, like the biggest video platform in the world? Like, if I'm the podcaster, probably if I'm going to get paid enough, it will make sense. But from a long-term strategic plan, I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. I think it's going to be a short-lived thing where things are going to only be on Netflix, unless they just produce podcasts just for Netflix and nowhere else. But I don't know. I think it's very interesting. I think we've seen this not work.
We've seen it not work, but we have seen it work in terms of Netflix's whole business model, where Netflix used to license shows from other studios, show them exclusively on VOD on their platform, and then get into a studio system where then they were developing their own originals. So if the end goal, they could be just running that playbook back, and that could be the end goal here, where they're licensing podcasts from other companies, putting it on their platform exclusively for a window while they develop their own exclusive podcast that then they can offer to their subscribers. Because Netflix, for all Ted Sarandos says about serious creators are on Netflix and YouTube is just for fun stuff, their actions show that they're increasingly interested in creators and this ecosystem, and their want to have this exclusive content on the platform shows that they don't want it to be shown at any of their competitors because they're a little bit worried about them. I also think this announcement is especially interesting because Netflix seemingly loves, if you look at what they put out in the press, just content you put out in the background. Stuff you're watching while you're vacuuming, while you're cooking, that's just always on.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's content you really need to sit down. Have you seen the new season of The Diplomat? I mean, that's not background content. You got to pay attention to that dialogue.
100%. But there was this report last December that stated that Netflix told writers to have characters, quote, announce what they're doing, end quote, just in case a viewer is busy doing something else. Whether that's staring at their second screen on their phone.
Writers love that. Yeah.
And so this was the example they gave from the #1 hit movie Irish Wish, starring Lindsay Lohan. Here's her dialogue. We spent a day together, Lohan tells her lover James. I admit it was a beautiful day, filled with dramatic vistas and romantic rain. But that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. Tomorrow I'm marrying Paul Kennedy. Fine, he responds. That will be the last you see of me because after this job is over, I'm off to Bolivia to photograph an endangered tree lizard.
An endangered tree what?
Lizard.
I'm like into it now. I'm like, wait, where is it going?
Exactly.
Why?
And you weren't even paying attention. So you can see how this is a great tactic.
I didn't watch that. I watched there was a Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie last year with like Kristen Chenoweth playing like the mean mother-in-law. And that was really good. She has gotten, I got to tell you, Lindsay Lohan, no shade, has gotten the best work done. She looks phenomenal. I am like, sign my ass up. Who is doing her work? I'm just saying. It's not what we're talking about, but like, listen.
So
go on.
Netflix really likes this kind of programming, and what better kind of programming than a podcast you can just have on in the background that you're kind of paying attention to that's exclusive to Netflix while you're doing whatever else on your phone.
Netflix is basically trying to, in and of itself, become effectively like cable. It's got something for everybody. You know what I mean? You've got that kind of content. You've got Love is Blind. You've got, you know what I mean, your reality shows. You've got your very, prestigious kind of awards shows and movies and things. So, it's all the things. So this would make sense that they want to get into this category as well. All right, Josh, do you have any uploads or downloads? I'll start with one. Piggybacking on what Instagram just did with the, oh God, what were they called? Reelsies?
Rings.
Reelsies. TikTok is doing its own award shows. It was just a matter of time. I feel like we're entering the era when there was like 9 million award shows. Do you remember like the Blockbuster Video award shows? Like that was the thing back in the day.
Yeah, I think any given platform gets big enough and then they feel like they have the need to honor their own people that they have on the platform.
Yeah, I mean, so again, back to sort of YouTube dominating, YouTube has done this thing where they give out these like really lovely plaques when you reach certain sort of milestones on the platform. They don't do their own award show, but like, and they're sort of legit. You reach 1 million subscribers and on and on. And it's a flex. And so December 18th at the Hollywood Palladium in Los Angeles, the TikTok award show will have this theme called New Era, New Icons. We'll recognize creators across 13 categories, including Creator of the Year, Video of the Year, Storyteller of the Year, and TikTok for Good Award, which gives a nod to humanitarian educational efforts. The trophies presented on stage will beam a colorful glow upon the creators, defining this new era of culture encompassing many areas, including fashion, beauty, sports, TV, film, and new forms of entertainment, said TikTok. They're also going to do a shout out to people that are doing really well with TikTok Shop, which will be a flex to that product for them. So, Josh, you are a seasoned award show veteran. I feel like this is great for the sort of creator award show circuit in general. I love this.
I think platforms honoring creators, basically anyone honoring creators in a way that gives creators a spotlight and showcases their ability to make really compelling, great content that lots of people enjoy, is always a win. 100%.
One other I just want to mention that just it's great, but it just burns a little bit, stings, as the kids say. So Canon, of course, the camera manufacturer, is coming out with this new contest. It's a $100,000 dream project contest, which will have folks like Colin and Samir, Josh Richards, Michelle Carre judging. So the Canon First Cut contest calls on digital creators to pitch their dream idea in a video up to 3 minutes long. We want to see your best pitch for your dream project. Create a video, whether it's a trailer, proof of concept film, pilot episode, sizzle reel, or anything else your imagination dreams up. Make sure you show us your storytelling skills and cinematic vision on screen. Skip direct to camera or talking head style pitches that just tell us what you have in mind. This is a contest that they're doing at Canon. I'm going to just tell you a little story, Josh. It's VidCon, call it 2012. I'm there. With Shane Dawson, who I was working with at the time. And I see what is very new to me. I'd never seen before in life. It's called a new contraption called a selfie stick.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? Everywhere. There was enough to be like, what's going on with this thing? And these kids are using it. So your girl has an idea. She says, I think a company like Canon should create a package for creators, like a sort of a mid-tier, lower tier, call it camera package that includes a selfie stick and a camera, whatever, and sell it, brand it for like a Shane Dawson, for example, or brand it to creators and sell it out. So I did the thing and I got in touch with Canon and I pitched this, and their answer to me was that, we don't sell in that market. That level of camera just doesn't work for us. And if I had to give my younger self any piece of advice, it's not that I didn't have the ideas. It's that I kind of took no for an answer, because who was I to disagree with Canon,
sure,
who had been around for 100 years. I don't know if that's actually true, but roughly, let's just, assume it is. And I kind of dropped it. I was like, I guess I'm wrong. Should have gone elsewhere, should have just, push, because guess who has the biggest booth at VidCon, not a couple years later, was fucking Canon. And Canon's now doing a contest with, I literally, I said this to them 15 years ago. And it's frustrating. I'm angry at myself. I'm not angry at Canon. They had a right to say that. They didn't know yet. What did they know? I knew. I should have pushed harder. And I'm, you learn. You know what I mean, Josh? You learn.
Do you know Mark Suster? He's the managing partner at Upfront Ventures. Big individual in the VC space, huge venture capital. He's invested in things like Ring, Bird, ThreadUp, MakeSpace, Maker Studios in our world, and more. He has this famous quote that says, "Being early is the same thing as being wrong." I just I'm the Oracle, Lauren. I just have to tell you what you need to hear.
That is, I'm gonna be talking to my therapist about. It's gonna, yeah.
I don't tell you what you want to hear all the time, but I just tell you what you need to.
Yeah, no, this is why you're here. Do you see me taking this in?
Yeah.
Do you see me do you see me not rejecting it? Do you see me not rejecting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we're done here. We did.
Lauren, I think that's it. I'll see you just starting a new short form video series about the work Lindsay Lohan's got.
And all the things that I should have done.
And the thought there next week. on Creator Upload. Today's show was produced by Lauren Schnipper, Joshua Cohen, that's me, and Adam Connor. It's edited by Adam Connor too. Original music is by London Bridge. You can check him out on Instagram at London Bridge Music. Make sure you subscribe to Creator Upload right here on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts as well, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. While you're there, give us a rating and leave us a comment. If you want to talk, hit us up at info@creatorupload.com. If you like our show, recommend it to a friend. If you love it, just tell everyone. Thanks for listening to Creator Upload, and we will be back next week.